The first seed of doubt was so tiny, so insignificant, I almost missed it. We were at Sarah's birthday party, a chaotic gathering of friends crammed into her tiny apartment. Liam, my boyfriend of 3 years, was across the room, deep in conversation with Chloe, Sarah's impossibly glamorous cousin. Chloe was all long legs, cascading blonde hair, and a laugh that sounded like wind chimes. I remember catching Liam's eye and offering a small, polite wave. He didn't see it, or at least, he pretended not to. Later, as we walked home, I casually mentioned it. Chloe seemed really interested in what you were saying tonight. Liam chuckled, a low, dismissive sound. Chloe? Oh, she's just Chloe, all surface and no substance. I was just being polite. You know I only have eyes for you, Cam. He squeezed my hand, and I felt a familiar warmth spread through me. Of course, I was being ridiculous. Chloe was just Chloe, and Liam loved me, but the seed had been planted. Over the next few weeks, I started noticing things. Liam was suddenly working late more often. He'd always been a dedicated architect, but now his dedication felt different. He'd come home, exhausted, but his eyes would be bright, almost feverish. He'd talk vaguely about a new project and tight deadlines, but he wouldn't offer any specifics. When I asked, he'd deflect with a kiss or a joke, leaving me feeling vaguely uneasy. Then there were the phone calls. He'd always been open with his phone, leaving it lying around, not caring who saw it. Now it was always face down, always within reach. He'd jump if it rang, his face tightening with a strange mix of annoyance and guilt. He'd take the calls in another room, his voice hushed and indistinct. When I asked who it was, he'd say, "Just work," or "My mom," even though I knew his mom never called that late. The doubts grew, festering in the dark corners of my mind. I started to feel paranoid. I'd find myself checking his pockets when he wasn't looking, scrolling through his call history when he was in the shower. I hated myself for it. I wasn't a jealous person. I trusted Liam. Or at least I thought I did. One evening, I confronted him. We were having dinner, a rare quiet moment in our increasingly chaotic lives. "Liam," I said, trying to keep my voice steady, "I've noticed you've been distant lately, and you're always on your phone. Is everything okay?" He looked at me, his eyes wide with what seemed like genuine surprise. "Of course, everything's okay, Cam. What's wrong? You seem stressed." "I'm not stressed," I said, my voice rising slightly. "I'm concerned. You're acting differently." He reached across the table and took my hand, his touch cool and comforting. "Camille, you're imagining things. I've been working really hard, that's all. I'm sorry if I've been neglecting you. It won't happen again." His words were soothing, reassuring, but as he spoke, I noticed a flicker in his eyes, a fleeting expression that I couldn't quite decipher. Was it pity, contempt, or something else entirely? He then turned the tables. "You know," he said, his voice softer now, almost hesitant, "you've been acting a little different too. You've been distant, secretive, always on your phone yourself. Are you sure you're okay?" I stared at him, dumbfounded. "What are you talking about?" "I don't know," he said, shrugging. "Maybe it's just me, but you seem preoccupied, and you've been spending a lot of time with Mark lately." Mark was an old friend from college, someone I'd known for years. We'd recently reconnected, and we'd been grabbing coffee a few times a week to catch up. "Mark?" I repeated, my voice incredulous. "He's just a friend." I know," Liam said quickly. "I'm not saying anything is going on, but it's just, you seem happier when you're around him. It makes me wonder." His words hit me like a slap. I was so shocked, so caught off guard, that I couldn't even respond. He was accusing me of cheating. After everything I'd been feeling, all the doubts I'd been harboring about him, he was trying to make me feel guilty. I spent the rest of the evening reeling. The more I thought about it, the more his accusations seemed to make sense. Maybe I had been spending too much time with Mark. Maybe I had been acting differently. Maybe I was the one who was drifting away. The doubt he planted was insidious. It crawled under my skin, poisoning my thoughts, twisting my perception of reality. Over the next few weeks, Liam continued his campaign of subtle manipulation. He'd make offhand comments about Mark, always laced with a hint of suspicion. He'd question my whereabouts, always with a concerned tone, as if he were genuinely worried about me. He started suggesting that I needed therapy, that I was clearly struggling with something. He even started leaving little gifts for me, self-help books about overcoming insecurity and jealousy. I was unraveling. I started to believe him. Maybe I was insecure. Maybe I was jealous. Maybe I was the one with the problem. I started to isolate myself from my friends, convinced that they could see the truth about me. I stopped seeing Mark altogether, afraid that I was leading him on, that I was subconsciously attracted to him. I clung to Liam, desperate for his reassurance, desperate to prove to him that I was worthy of his love. He, of course, was always there for me. He was the perfect, supportive boyfriend. He'd listen patiently to my anxieties, offer gentle advice, and hold me close when I cried. He was so understanding, so compassionate, that I couldn't understand how I'd ever doubted him. Until I found the earrings. It was a Tuesday morning. Liam had already left for work, and I was cleaning up the bedroom. I was picking up his clothes, which he'd carelessly strewn across the floor, as usual, when I saw them. They were nestled between the sheets, hidden beneath his discarded shirt. Small silver hoops, delicate and elegant. They weren't mine. My heart stopped. I picked them up, my fingers trembling. They were clearly expensive, designer. I'd never seen them before. A wave of nausea washed over me, followed by a cold, sharp clarity. The doubts, the suspicions, the paranoia, it had all been real. He was cheating on me. But it wasn't just the cheating that broke me. It was the gaslighting, the manipulation, the insidious way he'd twisted the truth to make me question my own sanity. He hadn't just betrayed me, he'd broken me. I spent the next few hours in a daze. I paced the apartment, clutching the earrings in my hand. I replayed every conversation, every interaction, every moment of doubt and confusion. It all clicked into place. He'd been projecting his own guilt onto me, deflecting suspicion by turning the tables. He'd been systematically dismantling my self-esteem, making me believe that I was the one who was flawed, the one who was incapable of trust. The rage built slowly, a simmering heat in my chest. How could he do this to me? How could he lie to me, manipulate me, make me feel so worthless? I wasn't going to let him get away with it. I wasn't going to be a victim. I was going to confront him. I waited for him to come home, the earrings clutched in my sweaty palm. He walked in, his face tired but relaxed. He smiled when he saw me, a smile that now felt like a mockery. "Hey, babe," he said, kissing me on the cheek. "How was your day?" I didn't say anything. I just held out my hand, the earrings glinting in the light. His smile faltered. His eyes widened slightly. He knew. "What are those?" he asked, his voice tight. "I think you know," I said, my voice shaking with anger. "I found them in our bed." He didn't deny it. He couldn't. The guilt was written all over his face. He tried to say something, some pathetic excuse, but I cut him off. "Don't even bother," I said, my voice rising. "I know everything. I know you've been cheating on me, and I know you've been manipulating me, trying to make me think I was crazy." He hung his head, shamefaced. "Camille, Get out," I said, my voice cold and hard. "Get out of my apartment. Get out of my life." He left without a word. I watched him go, my heart aching with pain and anger. The relief came later, a slow, steady wave of liberation. I was free. Free from his lies, his manipulation, his control. The aftermath was brutal. The emotional scars were deep, and it took me a long time to heal. I went to therapy. I talked to my friends. I slowly started to rebuild my life. I learned to trust my instincts again, to recognize the red flags, to value my own worth. But the experience changed me. It made me stronger, more resilient, more aware of the subtle ways in which people can manipulate and control each other. And it taught me a valuable lesson, that the most dangerous betrayals are not always the most obvious. Sometimes, the most devastating wounds are the ones that are inflicted slowly, subtly, insidiously, until you no longer recognize yourself. It's been years now. I still think about Liam sometimes, but not with anger or resentment. I think about him with a kind of detached curiosity, wondering what kind of person could be so cruel, so manipulative. And I think about Chloe, the woman with the wind chime laugh. I wonder if she ever knew the role she played in my unraveling. I never saw Liam again, nor did I ever speak to him. I suppose that chapter of my life is truly closed. But the lessons I learned, the scars I carry, those will stay with me forever. They are a reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most seemingly perfect relationships. And they are a testament to my own strength, my own resilience, my own ability to survive even the most twisted betrayals.